In this video, we're going to take a look at how to install a water saver upgrade kit on this Aquatic Life Twist-In 4-stage RODI unit. Included in the upgrade kit, you'll find two pivoting heads, one RO membrane and one DI that come pre-mounted onto a metal bracket. You've got an RO membrane, DI resin cartridge, some blue tubing. You've got a flush valve assembly as well as a Y. The first thing we want to do is remove the flow restrictor that comes out of the waste line. The waste line is the line running out the top of the RO membrane. And I'm going to show you a close-up of it because it's a little tricky. The first thing you want to do here is remove the little blue retainer clip. So there is a tab on it, but it's easiest if you use a screwdriver and you can just pop that right off. All right, so these are press fittings, and the way press fittings work is you have to push down on the collet into whatever you're trying to where you're trying to remove the tubing. And I don't know if you can see here, but there's a tiny little piece of tubing that's installed in here, and you need to work a screwdriver in between here and then push towards the flow restrictor and then pull at the same time. And you'll see how that just pulls right off there. Next, we're going to remove the waste line coming out of the flow restrictor, so we're left with just the flow restrictor. So do the same thing and remove the blue clip, and then you can push down on the collet and pull the tubing right out. Now we're going to install the flow restrictor into the pre-assembled flush valve assembly. To do this, we're just going to push the tubing in. Now the tubing is it's a double press fitting is what it is. So you're going to push it in once, and then push it in a second time, and you can see how it goes further in there. And once that's in, then we can go ahead and put the retainer clips in there, and that'll prevent the tubing from coming out. So we just want to do that on the other side as well. You're going to push it in once till it stops, and then push it in a second time until it goes all the way. We'll put our other blue clip on here. 3 screws are included with the kit, but you'll want to make sure and use the screws that are appropriate for whatever you're mounting into. You'll want to remove all the shipping plugs that are included with the new heads, and you just do the same thing. You push down on the collet and then you can pull the plug out. All right, next thing we want to do is move this little piece of yellow tubing from this membrane head to the new membrane head. So again, you're going to push down on your collet and then pull the tubing out. And then over here, you will just want to insert it. You're going to have to do the 2 push again. So push it all the way in, and then make sure and put your little blue collar on. All right, now we need to connect the wastewater coming out of the first membrane into the supply of the second membrane. The kit includes a lot of blue tubing. I'm going to use yellow tubing just because I like to color code things. Different color tubing is available. And then you want to install your little clips again. Now we want to install the flush valve assembly. There is an arrow printed on your flow restrictor. You want to make sure that the water flow is going the correct way. So like this way, the arrow is a little rubbed off, but the water flow is going this direction, which means that it would really be going this way. So this is the direction we're going to want to install it. So when the wastewater flows out, it flows right through the flow restrictor. If you don't install this in the correct position, you're going to have problems. You want to push this all the way in. Notice how it filled in that space, and then we'll be able to put our blue clip back on there. Now we're almost done with this install. The next thing we can do is, this is going to be the red is our waste line. We want to install it coming right off of here. Put our blue clip in. Next, we're going to cut a piece of the blue tubing that's included, and we're going to cut it at a length where we can easily marry it up to the tubing that's coming off of the first DI unit. So we're just going to cut a length about so big. Now you're going to take the included Y, and all we're going to do is marry these 2 filtered lines up So you want to push it in twice. Then you can take the blue filtered line that runs to your collection container, and this will give you just a single line running out with your filtered water. You want to remember to put your blue clips on there. Okay, now we're ready to install our new membrane. And then you'll want to make sure and use the flush cap that came with your 4-stage unit and put it in your DI here so we can run some water through the unit and rinse the preservative out of this membrane first. Once you've run about 30 gallons of water through the system, then you can put your DI cartridge in place. For those of you not familiar with a flush valve assembly, when you're operating the unit making up water, you want to have this valve closed. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow the flow restrictor to do its job and put pressure on the membranes and force the water through the membranes. Periodically, it's good to release that pressure and allow the membranes to rinse. So to do that, you just want to open up this valve, run the water for about 45 seconds. You're going to get a lot of wastewater draining out when this is open. Then you can close it and continue with making up your filtered water.